Road is narrow, the voice is loud. Everybody pulling, lost in the crowd. Some say bend, some say break what's true. But I've set my eyes on something true. I won't be shaken, I won't be moved. When the lines get blurred, I choose the truth. I won't fall left, I won't fall right. I'm standing firm in a steady light, rooted deep, no compromise. I'm walking strong between two ditches. I stand, I won't fall, I won't fade. Firm foundation won't be moved. Patience, neither between two ditches. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. I stand, yeah. I stand my conviction. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. Between two ditches. I stand my ground. I stand my I stand my
Welcome to the Between Two Ditches podcast. We sure are excited to be back with you today, and we sure do appreciate you joining us today for this episode. We hope that you enjoy.
As long as when you step away, and I don't mean step away for a week or a month or anything, even just in your day-to-day, like there's a time to step away, but I think there still needs to be that conversation with somebody, even on a daily basis. I think us as humans, we need it almost daily.
Yeah.
And, you know, for most of us, that's our spouse. That's the person we live with that we can reach out to. And, you know, to me, that makes me think, well, what does the youth do? The ones that don't have that spouse yet. Maybe they're in that season that, hey, 18, 19, 20 years old, I'm not living at home with mom and dad anymore. I've done moved out, but I don't have that spouse here beside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what could we recommend for them? Like that's when the small groups, the
Yes.
friend groups, that kind of stuff would be so crucial.
That's one of the key factors of small groups, or you don't have to call it small groups. It can be life groups, Sunday school, whatever label you want to throw on there, but that's the whole goal behind it, is to get you a group of people that you can grow with and learn with, and that you're comfortable building those connections with. And here again, this is where I know somebody's sitting right now, is that, well, I've opened up to too many people and too many people's let me down.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I can't argue that. I mean, we've all been let down, and probably more times than we can count. But I mean, gradually taking steps to find a community, to find people that you can sort of start to build those relationships with. I'm not saying, hey, go all in, tell them everything to start with, but gradually take those steps. Pray that God gives you an Aaron and a Hur. Pray that God gives you some people that you can surround yourself with, that strengthen you, that help you, because it's dangerous to be isolated. I cannot say it enough. If get this, this is the magnitude of this story. This is 450 prophets of Baal that Elijah, one man, is standing against. And I mean, I don't know about you, but if I'm going up against 450 people, I'm gonna be a little bit nervous.
We'll be a little bit nervous.
450 prophets of Baal, and here he is calling down fire from heaven in one chapter. And then the next chapter, God, would you please take my life?
Yeah.
That's how serious isolation is, you know?
Absolutely. Let me ask you this question, and this isn't even anything I've got wrote down here, but do you think that church hurt might be a big cause of isolation.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at, is that probably a lot of people have found confidence. See, here's the thing with church hurt, and we'll have episodes on this. We walk into a church oftentimes expecting perfection.
Yeah.
It's just it's the mentality. We're expecting, to find everything, every I dotted and every T crossed. But here's the reality. And I get, churches ought to strive to do good, strive to be the best we can be, make good first impressions, build relationships, be trustworthy, all those things. I'm not knocking it. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, people will be people. And even somebody that tries the absolute best they can, at the end of the day, they still are a sinner.
Yeah.
They're still going to mess up. And so I think when you have your anticipations and expectations so high, it almost becomes unrealistic.
Yes.
An unrealistic expectation.
I agree 100%. I had a conversation with a person the other day. They were talking about something, and they had a little bit of struggle come through, and they were talking about kids and all, and it's like they expected them to be perfect. And the conversation come up, there wasn't but one perfect person ever walked this earth, and he's not here right now.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for the day to get to meet him.
Absolutely.
But so when we expect perfection out of imperfect people like we are, the sin-cursed people like we are, I mean.
See, let me illustrate this very well, just to show. You think about our expectations of walking into Walmart versus our expectations of walking into church.
Yeah.
Our expectations of walking into Walmart is we're probably going to run into somebody that has an attitude.
Yeah.
We're going to run into somebody that's going to be angry.
Yeah.
But we don't have that expectation when we come to church.
Yeah.
But on both ends, you're dealing with what? People.
Yeah.
So it's just the expectation, the unrealistic expectation, and that's a big thing that causes us to isolate ourselves. Well, this one let me down, this church let me down, this church let me down. But the main thing to realize there is that God never let you down.
Yeah.
And that the same God that walked with you in those seasons is the same God that saved your soul. And if he's God enough to walk with you, if he's God enough to save your soul, don't you think he's God enough that he can give you some friends?
Yeah.
Some genuine friends.
Well, let me ask you another tough question here, and then we'll try to get back more to the isolation and less from the church hurt side of it.
It's okay.
But do you think it's possible to ever find church hurt to be a hidden blessing?
Oh, 100%. I mean, even in my own life, I could say that it was.
Yeah.
Because if God used that church hurt to protect me from making some of the decisions down the road towards somebody else. Now, I haven't always got it perfect. I've had a bad attitude at times. I've said things out of the way that I shouldn't. But there have been some things done and said to me that by God's grace, I will not do and say to somebody else because it was done to me, and I know the pain that comes from it.
Yeah. Well, if you're floating down a river and you don't have anything to ever guide you, you're just at the river's discretion. It's going to take you where it wants to.
Right.
But now, if every once in a while you get a little nudge from here and a little nudge from there, that'll guide you down the river.
Yeah.
And I try to use that example for saying that sometimes we get complacent, we get comfortable.
That's true.
And sometimes we need that little bit of a push, even though it's uncomfortable, even though we don't like it in the moment. Sometimes, the way I say it about myself is I'm hard-headed. Yeah. Sometimes I need somebody to take a stick and beat me upside the head with it to turn me back where I need to go. So
I would compare it to a Christian that has fallen asleep.
Yeah.
And that is a wake up.
It's a guardrail.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Wake up. We got stuff to do, so to speak.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, some of the church hurt that I've had really was me. It was me. It was my mindset. It wasn't even what they said. It was how I took it in the moment.
Yeah.
and how I decided to interpret what they said.
Right.
But then on the flip side of it, afterwards, like I've had to re-evaluate some of that and be like, man, that wasn't a them thing.
Yeah.
That was I was in the wrong spot there.
Well, we'll find out later on that not everything that's labeled church hurt is church hurt.
Yeah.
You know, that gets thrown around very loosely.
Yes.
And anyways, but the reason for mentioning that though is because that is a big thing that leads to isolation.
Yes.
So I think it's clear that we see a common theme and principle throughout Scripture that God doesn't most of the time send people out by themselves.
Yeah.
You often find when you're reading, especially with the disciples, for instance, he sent them out 2 by 2.
Yeah.
There's a verse in Ecclesiastes about 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
For if one falls, the other can pick him up. So it's a common theme and a common principle to have somebody with you. And so why do you think that God created it that way?
God is, I don't know how to word this, but he's a God of fellowship.
Yeah.
Like he himself craves, or I guess we can say craves, fellowship with us. So he instill, that's his plan, that's his design. I mean, look as far back as Adam and Eve, back when the world was still perfect.
Yeah.
When he made Adam, he saw the need
For companionship.
for a companion for Adam.
Yeah.
So he made woman. I mean, that's before the fall. That's before anything else.
Right.
He saw the need for companionship before there was even sin for us to fight against. So it's just the design.
Yeah.
Like when it comes down to it, it's just the way this thing was designed. It's
Yeah.
the way his creation was meant to work.
Right. I think the most practical application that you can think about with this, because we realize we've all got an enemy. Let's just picture that you was going to go into a boxing match and say this dude's pretty big. Would you rather walk in there by yourself, or would you rather walk in there with somebody else? Even if that somebody else is not that strong or that big, it's still helpful to have somebody else, because it'll take a little bit of the target off you.
Maybe you can throw them over in front of him and distract him for a minute while you run around behind him.
Yeah, exactly. They always say you can outrun the bear as long as you're faster than the person you're with, right?
It says you ain't got to be the fastest as long as you ain't the slowest.
Exactly. So no, but the application's there. It's just that we need each other. That's one preacher said, all we have is God and each other.
Yeah.
And so God designed it that way, that we would live in community, that we would live in fellowship, that we strengthen one another, help one another, encourage one another, edify one another, so on and so forth. So why do you think that some Christians attend church but still remain isolated?
I think a lot of times that's just checking a box.
Very true.
I think sometimes it's, well, I've done the church thing this week, I'm good.
Right.
And it hasn't really got connected. You know, that's something that you were really big in talking about, is getting plugged in, getting dialed in with your church. Not only showing up on Sunday morning just to check that box, but really digging in. And I mean, just look at the change we've seen.
Yeah.
Seeing people get plugged in. Like, I bet you right now, it's, to break the wall here of time, it's 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I bet you we could put out a message right now on the prayer chain that somebody needed food somewhere, and within 10 minutes somebody be, I'm on my way.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Like, and that's just how the church operates.
Yeah.
It's such a community. The church here almost, well, we know what the church is.
Right.
The church is the body, it's not the building.
Yeah.
But it's so much a community mindset here.
Yeah.
And it's not just here, it's a lot of places. Like,
Yes.
that's a change that we're seeing, like we were talking about before, like people coming back, but they're hungry.
Right.
And we're seeing that shift towards a more community mindset, which is the plan.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we're told to operate. But it's crazy to see in another way coming out of the season that we were in before of it's just me. Like, I'm worried about me. Well, I mean, just look, 5 years ago, you couldn't buy a pack of toilet paper nowhere.
Yeah.
And then there was some people that had storage buildings full of it.
Yeah.
It's what I want for me, and I don't care about anybody else. And now it's so different. Like, the atmosphere in the world is kind of different. Now, not everywhere.
Right.
But in our little bubble, the atmosphere has shifted to community.
Yeah, and I think the answer to the question of why could someone go to church and still be isolated, I think you could look at it from two different angles. One, part of the responsibility could be on the church, depending on the case. But also, you could have the angle where the responsibility is on the person attending. What I mean by that is the person attending, like you said, may be coming just to check a box, not ever giving any time for any fellowship. You know as well as I do, especially like a Sunday morning. Sunday mornings are so hectic and chaos. We have that little time of fellowship, but if you're in a hurry to get out of here, you're not getting that fellowship. You're not.
Yeah, but so let me give you a perspective shift from your perspective on that. And I'm not trying to make it all about this church. No. So you have the benefit of you get to the door very quickly. You do that so you can greet people on the way out, so you can shake hands and kiss babies, so to speak. But let me tell you my perspective, because I don't rush for the door when church is over. But you know, there's sometimes it takes 25 to 30 minutes to get to you at the back door.
Really?
So it's like,
well, the atmosphere,
and that's fellowship. That's the fellowship that happens even after.
Right.
And that shows that the intention is not to check a box for most of the people.
Right.
You know, that shows the intention is we're here, we want to be together. They have a longing for it. So that's what I was getting at. Like, sometimes it takes literally a half hour, and we're not a mega church. We ain't got 20,000 people here. We're talking 80 people, and sometimes it takes a half hour to get 80 people filed out of a door, and it's like, that's a blessing to me. Like, some people may see it a different way, but that's such a blessing.
It really is. It's a blessing. But if somebody is like super duper fast to just leave, like on a Sunday morning or something like that, then it doesn't give much opportunity. You know, the Bible says this: for someone that wants to have friends, they must show themselves friendly. You know, there has to be effort on both sides. I also think a church can set an atmosphere too of being open for fellowship and being open, not just to check a box, but like, hey, we genuinely love you and care for you. What do I mean by that? So part of what you're talking about is a result of this, I believe. Now, I can only speak from experience here because obviously pastor here. So this is what I see every Sunday.
This has been your 5 years.
Yes.
So you can't see outside your 5-year window.
Correct. But what I see is when a visitor comes in, or even a regular attender, say that may not come to small groups or may not come to activities, you know, that doesn't have that necessarily plugged in, so to speak. What I do watch still every week is all the people marching over to them. Man, it's so good to see you. Hey, how are you? Hugging their neck, this, that, and the other. What they're doing is they're opening that door of community. They're opening that door of, you don't have to remain isolated. You've got friends here. And I always say, a lot of times when I'm preaching, this is a safe place. It really is. I mean,
well, so transparency here. I'm not always the best at that. Like, I'm not always the best to be, but there's so many people here that are. There's so many people here that are so good at that I feel a little bit of that pressure taken off of me. And I don't say that like I'm trying to get out of anything.
I'm the worst at it.
But it's like, sometimes with everything we have going on, and we keep ourselves so busy, sometimes just having a little relief in one area is so good for me.
Let's mention this on that subject. So many people want to serve God.
Yeah.
They want to serve in a church, but they have no idea what to do. Can I tell you a huge place of service? Greeting people.
Yes.
That is massive. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that come through the door and say, we just feel like we're at home.
Yeah.
We just feel like this is family. You know why? Because they got greeted with, hey, how in the world are you? It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And they've done had their neck hugged
off.
about 3 times before they even made it to a seat. And it's
Right.
like, I don't even know these people.
Right.
But they act like they love me already.
Yeah.
And we do. That's the thing. We do. You know,
Yes.
just we love people. And I think that's where the heart of the outreach and all the stuff comes from, is just our love for people.
Right.
So let me give a good example here. And I'm going to mention no names, and I'm going to keep it as vague as I possibly can.
Okay.
But we had somebody come back this past Sunday that we've not seen in a while.
Yeah.
The amount of people
Oh, man.
that I saw make so much of an effort to go talk to this person. We've missed you. How have you been?
Yeah.
We love you. Glad to see you. And it's like, I can't speak on the season of life that they've been in and don't know what all they got going on. And that doesn't even matter. I saw God's people doing God's work through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Along those lines, I'm also going to be very vague. But there was a situation. This was years ago, so it wasn't anything recent. But it goes to show you the personality of this place and the atmosphere of the people. There was somebody who had messed up, made a mistake, done something wrong. And they had not been to church in a long time. We had already got started. I think the choir was singing, and somebody was standing up in the choir, and they seen that person come through the back door. But in the middle of a choir song, here they go down the aisle, and I watch them hug right there at the back door. I'm like, dear Lord, that is just awesome. Like even though they had messed up, they had made some mistakes, they had done wrong. But I'll meet you at the back door and hug your neck. I won't even wait for you to get in here.
But Jacob, that disrupted service.
Lord.
That wasn't on the schedule. That wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean you're happy about that? I'm saying all that completely
Right.
sarcastically.
Yeah.
If you're listening to it audio, maybe you can't see the sarcasm in my expression, but it's, praise the Lord.
Yeah, dude.
You know, that's what I'm going to say. Like,
my heart was just, beating out of my chest, just thrilled to pieces.
it's just like, I love it. I love to see people that are that dialed in, that are just that good. And like I say, I have been so blessed to be around so many people, you know, different churches I've been around and everything. Like I've still at least one more church. Well, no, I've got 3 more churches right now that I can pull right off the top of my mind. I could walk through the door of this Sunday, and I would feel like I'm at home. They're going to say, "How have you been? How's your family?"
Right.
They're going to love on you. They're going to, and it's like that's such a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so I get the feeling that people talk about when they come here, and I felt that when I first started coming here. You know, it's like it's a feeling of family. And honestly, we should feel that when we walk through the doors of any church.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Because we are family.
Yeah.
We're all the body. We're just participating in different locations.
Yeah. Along these lines, let's say, well, and trust me, we're not sitting here blaming a church or blaming a pastor or anything like that. We're just literally chit-chatting about the subject. So let's say there's a church or a pastor that listens and says, well, the atmosphere doesn't seem to offer that. Yeah. What are some ways, how can churches as a whole do better about building meaningful relationships?
Yeah. I think it starts at the door.
Yeah, that's true. or even the
Actually,
parking lot.
that's where I was getting ready to back up.
Yeah.
I have seen the benefit of the parking lot ministry. Like, we do it here because we have very limited parking. So parking here is very crucial to be able to get people in here.
Right.
Like, we're running out of parking spots, which is such a blessing.
That is.
I'm not saying anything negative. But the amount of people that I have heard talking so positively about somebody meeting them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, who would have ever thought? And I love the fact that it's the youth.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that gives them, for one, that gives them responsibility.
Yes.
But it also gets them out of their shell, because how often in church is it that it's like the youth and the adults?
Yeah.
And they don't ever mingle.
Yeah.
Well, this gets it out of their comfort zone, and you're forced to mingle.
Right.
And it's great, because look at how the kids have started coming out of their shells.
Yeah.
Like, the kids that have been involved with the parking, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like they're more likely to walk up to the adults and start talking. Like, they
Yes.
feel like they're part of us.
Right.
Like, they're not some separated sect off of us. Like, they feel like they're becoming part of the church.
Right.
And-
Not like a sit down and shut up. Not
Yeah.
like a, hey, we want you here. Love you.
Well, if they want a quiet church, this will be my first negative thing I'll say about Alvarado. If they want a quiet church that you don't ever hear a peep out of a kid, you probably ought to keep on driving by.
For real.
Because there is young families, there is babies, there's toddlers, there's everything. And yes, they make messes. Yes, they make noise. But you know what I say about that? Praise the Lord to see some young people in church.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
You know.
A step I think that churches could make, obviously I love what you mentioned about having either somebody out in the parking lot, especially at the door. I think that's almost a given.
Yeah.
Because that's even in scripture. I'd rather be a doorkeeper. It shows there was a doorkeeper.
Yeah.
So I think a doorkeeper or a door greeter is a great asset, and having the right person in place too.
Yes, absolutely.
That is very key.
Can I say this? And
Go ahead.
I'm going to call her by name. And if every church had a Teresa,
Oh man. Yeah, buddy.
like, as far as meeting people and loving on
Yeah.
people when they come through the door, she's as good as anybody I've ever been
Yes,
around.
yes.
If every church had a Teresa, it would just flip it all on its
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, that's a sweet lady right there.
Oh,
man.
she is. I swear she feels like she's a relative, and she has since the day that I met her.
Yeah.
Like, she's that person that she becomes family from the moment you
Yes,
meet her.
yes.
Like, she cares about you, and you can tell it's a genuine care.
Right.
Like, I've never met another person quite like her, and it's such a blessing to see.
It's awesome.
Like I said, if every church could get them a Teresa, like, it would change the trajectory of most churches, I
Yes,
believe.
Absolutely. Man, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's so true. I think a step that a church could take, what we're seeing in small groups has been very eye-opening.
Yes.
See, I have the 5 years, almost 6 now. I get to look back at a time where we had Sunday school. Now, this is why, a church has to do what works for them.
Yes.
Sunday school at some places might be, busting out the seams, thriving, doing exactly what it's intended to do. But when you look back at Sunday school here, I don't know, that was probably before your
That
time.
was phasing out when I started coming.
Yeah,
So,
so-
I never was part of Sunday school here.
So what that looked like was, it was very, gosh, I hate to use the word depressing. I think most everybody would agree with that. That most everybody that was sitting in here would agree that we were just here because it was the thing to do.
You were just checking a box.
Yes.
And was that because that's just a box that had always been checked?
Yes.
It wasn't because anybody was really getting any growth or anything out of it.
Right. And so I was noticing so many things, like obviously the depressing aspect of it, but also how it would affect the the transition from Sunday school into the morning service, it was so rushed.
Yeah.
We didn't have time for prayer room hardly.
Yeah.
We didn't have time to greet anybody. It was so rushed. There was just no time to do anything.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing. And then, I'm just praying, seeking the Lord. And then all of a sudden our lessons that we were doing, they started getting a little off the wall. We were using some sort of book that we purchased there, and there was some things mentioned in it that we didn't agree with. And I'm like, man, the Lord was just confirming it one right after another. And so I had obviously gleaned from others and trying to see what we can do better. And that's the whole goal. It's not, hey, we're changing it up, we're modernizing this, that, and the other. No, it's like, how can we be more effective as a church? How can we reach more people? How can we build those meaningful relationships? And so we took the step to try something different. And ultimately, sorry, my voice just cracked. I'm a teenager again. Ultimately, I would ask you to edit that out, but it's going to be hard to find in there.
And it's kind of funny. So
Yeah. So that'll be your laugh for the day. But ultimately, Sunday school and small groups, very similar. But I used this comparison whenever I was introducing it to the church. We have, in Abingdon, we had a Shoney's. And it was somewhat going downhill, I guess. And I guess the owners recognized that. They wanted to do something. So what they did was they revamped a little. Well, now Shoney's is called Fiddlers. But when you walk in my opinion, it's still Shoney's.
Well, from the outside and looking on the inside, it looks nothing like Shoney's. They did a great job with the remodel.
Right.
But you better not look at the buffet if you remember what Shoney's buffet used to have on it.
Yes.
Because it's the same thing.
Yes.
They've added like one or two items.
Right.
Is the only difference that I can see.
Yes. And so, in my opinion, they took the label of Shoney's off, and they stuck the label Fiddlers on. And because that label was new, that label was something that people could come and check out for themselves and see how they like it. Although what's on the inside that was being digested stayed the same.
Yeah.
The label that was on it changed. All right. So what we did was we moved our quote unquote Sunday school. We revamped, renamed, slapped the new name on small groups, and we moved it to Wednesday nights, which opened the door of opportunity for us to move the service back to 10:30 because for some reason, Brother Evan, I don't understand this. I don't know. I don't get it. But whenever we started at 11, we kept ending at 12:30.
Yeah.
Or after. I mean, and so I don't know. I don't know what happened. I guess the singing was long or something. Just kidding. But anyways, that gave us the opportunity to back up to 10:30, and then I was like, well, we need prayer room, so we'll go back to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so 10 o'clock prayer room, and
So in all reality, you lost no time. You gained time. Really.
oh, dude, it's such a. I don't know. In my opinion, it's such a relief.
Yeah.
To be able to come in on Sunday morning and all your focus and all your direction is pointed at that morning service.
Yeah.
You're coming in to pray, locked in for that morning service. You're getting the opportunity, because there's time now, where you can go around and greet people and things like that.
Well, the correlation there is you took something that was, I'm going to use another word that you probably ain't going to like, but you took something that was dull,
Yeah.
that wasn't full of life.
Right.
You replaced that with fellowship.
Right.
I mean, you directly replaced that with fellowship, with people fellowshipping in the church, getting ready for church to start.
Right.
So there's a change of atmosphere there.
Yeah.
But I have noticed since small groups has started, if you will notice on Sunday mornings, those small groups
Yeah.
still kind of make sure they make a point of talking to each other.
Yes.
So the relationship that's built in the small groups, I am starting to see, and I'm not saying like they're separating themselves and like becoming their little clique. I'm not saying that by no means.
Right.
But you notice that they always make a point to
Yes.
get over
Check in with
to
each other. And
the people that's in the small groups with them.
You know what that tells you, though? That tells you that meaningful relationships are being made.
Yes.
And so that the question was, what can someone do, what can a church do to help build meaningful relationships? Well, you see, that was a step
Yeah.
of building meaningful relationships because of the small group atmosphere. The only thing different about that is now we have a lesson and then we break into small groups.
Yeah.
All right. But now, even to somebody that still wants to do Sunday school, still has Sunday school, they can still build meaningful relationships. I think the whole thing is giving people an opportunity to respond and be able to open the floor for discussion.
Yeah.
I think whenever we're just constantly like in the flow of a service where we're praying, singing, preaching, invitation out, that never gives opportunity for the ones that are sitting out here to ask questions back here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So there's never that connection being made with the person beside you, opportunity to actually discuss the Bible, your life, all those things. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I agree 100%. And I would actually say, and I hope this comes across well, because this is me, I guess, more speaking to you than even to them for just a moment here. It's so good for me to see you sit there.
Oh, man.
For you to get poured into weekly.
Yeah.
I mean, you still get up here, you still speak, and you do usually have a little bit of a message that you bring out.
Yeah. But
But you get to, I see that every week now, you get to sit there, and for a few minutes, you get poured into weekly.
Yes.
It's not a whenever you have a guest preacher in or something like that.
Right.
It's a weekly thing.
Yes.
You're getting to get fed often this way, and I can tell the difference. I don't know if anybody has told you that or not, but I can tell the difference in you, like the way. I don't know how to exactly say that, but just in the way that, well, your mentality, I guess you could say, you seem less stressed, I guess, something like that. Not saying that there's not all the stressors still there.
No, that's good.
But I can see the difference, like it's actually getting poured into. And when we're sitting here talking, you're not the figurehead here. Like most of the time, you even have been having Eric to kind of lead the small group. So you're even sitting back there. You're getting fed there.
Well, it helps me, but it also helps our group to hear a different voice.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big thing too, is hearing different voices speak. Yeah. You might have, listen, I have come to find out that you never know what you have sitting in your chairs or sitting in your pews. You could have such an unreal talent or unreal wisdom sitting in these chairs, and if you're the only one speaking, you never know it.
Yeah. There's one person that comes to
Yes,
mind.
I know.
There's one person that comes to my mind immediately.
Yes.
Well, actually, there's a couple now.
Really,
There's one in each small group that I can pick out one person in each small group that has just blown my mind.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
You know, and it's like, wow, like I didn't realize.
And you wouldn't if we didn't take the step to open the floor up and open that opportunity. That was a decision that a church had to make, and they made it by faith, and praise God that we did as a whole.
All right, so hang on, don't get whiplash here. I'm going to whip us back, and we'll tie back into our isolation. All this that we've been talking about is a way that we have avoided isolation in the church. We have been building those groups. We started out with 5 people in each small group, and now we're up to like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I mean, we're almost to the point we could separate again and get a third small group. Like we're almost to that point, which is such a blessing. Like I was afraid, let me be transparent, that it would be like a lot of things, and it would be really good at the beginning, and it would trickle off.
Yes.
This is not trickling off. This is growing. On a Wednesday night, it's growing. You know.
And not to say that it's about number.
Yeah.
But if you look back at the Sunday school versus our Wednesday night small groups, it's drastically different. I would go as far as to say probably 3 to 4 times different.
And it's not about a number, but it is about a number.
That's true, yeah.
Because look at how many people are not isolated now.
That's true. That every empty seat is an opportunity for somebody to get the gospel.
So, yeah, like I said, I wanted to steer it back. And if it wasn't clear where we were coming from, like all this has worked towards what has worked for us.
Yes. Now that may not work somewhere else.
It may not. Like I'm sure some places they wouldn't like the informal
Yeah.
nature of the small group. But for me, that just gives me time because how many times on a Sunday morning, I'm sure you've experienced this, you've been sitting there and the preacher will say something, it's like, man, I've really got something I'd like to ask. Mm-hmm. But now's not the time, and I'm not going to remember it by the time it's over.
Yeah.
Well, small groups, like when it comes to mind, you can be like, hey, let me ask this, or this is a thought that I just had.
So let me give an example right here. So we, in our small groups, we kept coming back to this common theme that many of us struggled with reading Scripture.
Yeah.
Whether that be struggling to understand or struggling to designate a time or struggling to just remain consistent with it, all the things. So in that small group, we kept noticing that common thing coming back up. So we asked the question, well, we've noticed that there's a problem.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do about it? So we, as a small group, we decided, you know what, we'll all commit to reading this chapter this week, and we'll talk about it next week. What that does is that starts building accountability to where it encourages you to take that step. And what that's doing, that's growing you closer to the Lord and building strength, which is the total opposite of isolation.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So now think about this. If we were just in service format, service flow, doing the same routine thing, would that have ever came up? Would we have ever had that opportunity? I don't know.
Well, let me say this. Even if you from here had said, well, this week, everybody read this chapter, we're going to come back next week and discuss it. Mm-hmm. If you discuss it from here, nobody out here is going to say a word.
That's true. Yeah.
So even if you had tried it in a different situation, I don't think it would have worked.
Right.
But what about the other small group this week? Like you asked them, you know, did y'all come up with a chapter? You want us to come up with a chapter? And they were like, no, we've already got it.
Yeah.
And it actually changed what we were doing. Like we had decided to do something different. But I mean, I think just their eagerness was kind of like, okay, they called me off guard just a little bit, but if y'all are that excited about it, I want to find out what we're excited about here, you know.
Right, that was cool.
I thought that was great because I was afraid, yet again, me thinking, I probably would have quit doing that so much. But me thinking, it's like, people are going to be like, they expect me to go home and read this and be able to discuss it when I come back. Like, they want me to do more and more and more. And it's like, you know, my mind, it's like people's going to push back against that. No, they seem excited about it.
Well, think about what it does. It's giving you a small, because we're doing a smaller portion right now, starting off something small, and that's what you do. You set small goals so you can achieve them. And so we're starting off with something small, and then that next Wednesday, when they walk in confidently, they're like, you know what, I did that.
Yeah.
And you know what, that's encouraging.
Well, and if you notice, we do the course, you know, we're doing the course, and we have questions with the course. We don't start with that. We start with our reading.
Right.
Like, we want to talk about that, even though we just went through the course, and that's fresh.
Yeah.
Like, we're all excited because, hey, we actually did what we said we were going to do. We want to talk about it.
Yes. It encourages you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's building those meaningful relationships, which strengthens the bonds and helps you, and of course keeps you from getting to that place of isolation. But I do believe it is about time to wrap it up. But I do want to just say on the end of this is we're just trying to share, first of all, the dangers of isolation, but also some practical steps to, is this a word, de-isolate, if you are isolated. That there are some practical steps you can take to de-isolate yourself. You may be in a dark place. You may be in a depressed place. And listen, it's okay. We
Yeah.
get that. There's some
We've all been there.
There's some real hurt that you could have faced. There are some real problems that you could have faced. And here's the third thing. There may have been some real people that caused some issues that's caused you to isolate. But just know, the same God that saved you, the same God that walks with you, is the same God that can provide some friends, some good, solid friends in your life that you can grow in the Lord with on a daily or a weekly basis. And so I want to just encourage you, don't stay in that deep, dark hole of isolation, because it is very, very destructive. It is very dangerous, and it leaves you vulnerable to the enemy.
Yeah.
Do you got anything, Evan?
Just going to finish, and perfect segue here. I'm going to leave a question at the end.
Okay.
One that we won't even discuss here. I want to leave a question at the end, and this is just something for the listener to ponder on, is, does Satan need to attack you, or does he simply need to isolate you? So something to think about.
And we'll leave that there. We sure do appreciate you tuning in with us this week. Stay tuned for more episodes, more conversations coming up. And until next time, keep it between the ditches.
Love y'all.